What's going on, everybody? I'm Gary B. Jr., and today we're going to do a pop quiz, all in FreeShow. The question is, who was a judge? You have 20 seconds to give your answer. Your time starts now. Was it A, Peter? Was it B, James? Was it C, Samson? Or D, Cain? Who was a judge in the Bible? You have 5 seconds to go. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And survey says the answer is C, Samson. Today we're going to talk about how to create this very game show setup in FreeShow. So strap on your seatbelts and get ready to have some fun. We're about to make a game show. All right. And so the first thing we need to do in order to make this game show, we need to add a slide. And we're going to design how we want this to look. I've got a little sample test of it here. And so I'm going to make a text box, and I'm going to make this text box be the question box. And we're going to give it a background color. We'll make it be blue, and the text in it will be white. And we'll make it auto size, shrink to fit. That's perfectly fine. I want it to align in the center, which is great. And then we need to add some question boxes. And actually, I want this to be rounded off. So let's go back here, and we're going to trim the corners. And we'll put a white box around it as well on the border. All right, so we got the 5 solid border. All right, that's perfectly fine. Now we need to get our answer boxes. So we're going to go back to items, text box. We're going to style these in a similar way. All right, so we need some answer boxes. So I'm going to put this here, and we can make it be a little bit longer. All right, now let's style this, and then we'll just duplicate it. And so I've got that there. Let's go to the item itself. Let's change the color of this to be, we can make it be a gradient, actually. That'll be fun. Let's do maybe a darker blue. No, that's a fun feel to it. Let's see that. That doesn't look bad. Even a dark gray. I think I like the dark gray feel to it. And these are my first impressions of a feature that is in the 1.4.9 beta. All right. This is crazy. This is beta 1, actually. All right. Corner radius, we're going to turn that up. And we'll put a box around it on the border. Boom. All right. And let's make sure that it's set to auto size as well. I don't want anything to run over. All right. Now we need to right click and let's duplicate. And we'll pull that one there. We'll make them try to be as centered as possible with the edges here. All right. We'll duplicate this one. And we'll duplicate it one more time. All right. So this last one will go here, or the top one. Line it up. And then this one will go here. Line it up with that and that. All right. So we got our 4 boxes. And this one, now it looks like it's naked. It needs a gradient with it as well to kind of give it a cool effect. So I'm going to change that. And let's pick a gradient. And let's go with maybe that one, or even that one. I think I like that one on that. That's perfect. All right. So we got that. Now we've got all the elements in place, but the question we have to ask is how we're going to put these questions in here and these answers in here, and then show which one is the right answer. We're going to work through that together. So with this new feature, there's an option now under variables, under functions. We can go to, and I'm going to actually make a new section, but that's okay for now. We're going to do new variable, and it's going to be an option now for number, random number, text, and then text set. They call it A plus. All right. So if I select that, I'm going to call this game show questions. All right. And now I can make a value for number 1. So this is literally like question number 1 in the game show. Okay. we're going to say question 1. All right. We can put a number sign in if we want to, I guess. Question number 1. And then we put in what that question would be. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put in the next values, which is going to be A. And we'll put a dot there. And then we'll do a new variable. We'll do B. New variable. We'll do C and D. All right. So now you get to make up what your questions are. So your game show might be something random. I'm going to do scripture / Bible quiz knowledge stuff, right? And so let's see here. Let's say, which was a judge? We'll just do that. All right. It will say Peter, James, Samson, and we'll do Cain. Is that how you spell Cain? I think it's spelled like this. I can't remember, but we'll keep it like that. All right. Now we can add more variables, but I only have 4 boxes for 4 questions, and my questions are A, B, C, and D, or my answers, I should say, are A, B, C, and D. Now, if I say add a set, check out what happens. It gives me a whole new set. Okay. And I don't even need it to say question 1 because it's got that in there. So I've got them saying question 1. I could have just made that say question. Okay. So let's change that. If I delete that out and we do new variable and I just say question, boom. And then I put in the value. Who was a judge? All right. And it's a question mark. Now I can't move the order of these. So once you lock it in, it's locked in, but it does retain whenever you make a change to one of these. If I were to add, actually you can only change the variables on the top one. So it just keeps making new versions of it. So for this now, I got to put my questions at the bottom because I just misspelled it or I put the wrong thing in there. So let's do the next question. We'll say, who ran faster than a chariot? All right, question mark. And we got some values here. We'll say Caleb. We'll say Jacob, Elijah, and we'll say John. All right, add a set. It gives me the exact same options yet again. So I'm just going to do 3 questions for now. What's another question we can think of? Let's say, let's see, which book of the Bible is about Moses? All right. So we'll say Galatians, Exodus. We'll say Job and Ruth. All right. And so we got 3 questions. It's called game show questions. I'm going to go ahead and close that. If I scroll down, I got this thing that says game show questions. It says 5, meaning that there's 5 different sets of variables inside of that. All right. And I can hit this next arrow and you'll see number 1 there. And I can hit next and it'll go to number 2 and number 3. All right. And I can go previous, back and forth. This is how you're going to literally change your slide for your game show. And so now I can go here, back up to the edit page. We're in the edit page and I can add a dynamic value. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a template. So I'm going to save this as a template. I'm going to go down to my templates and I don't know if I got a game show category. Let's see here. So I'm making a new category and I'm going to call it game show. All right. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Game show idea. Here we go. All right. Now, if I go to show, I can drag this into here and I've got that template saved. All right. So if I need it, I can always get it. It's going to keep those colors. It's going to keep those borders and all that kind of stuff. Now, if I wanted to, I can make it include the text as well, which is an option, but I like that just as it is, which is fine. But we're going to do edit again, and I'm going to add in by right-clicking dynamic values. And I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom, and my game show questions, the question option is there. This is going to be option for A. So I'm going to select dynamic values and right click that. And I'm going to go to A, and I see A there. Game show questions A. I'm going to go to B, do dynamic values and select the option for B. Go here, dynamic values, and we'll do C. And I see something missing from my template. I need to put those letters in there. All right. And then we'll go here, dynamic values, and we'll do D for Kane. All right. Now, before we go further, let me add in those options. Okay. And what that looks like is simply something like this. I'm just making this text box. I just added a text box, and I'm just going to put it right there on the side of it here. And I'm just going to make this be A. And we'll make another one by duplicating and duplicating again. And one more. All right. So now I can drag this one over here. And that one is for B. Make it touch there. And what I'll do is I'm going to drag these out just a bit. Keep them in line with that. Just to give it some space. We're just making some adjustments here. All right. And then we'll move this one to be in line as well. And we need to get this. We'll drag this over. This is for D. Keep those in line. And then I duplicated a fourth one. This will be for C. All right. And so now we got A. This will be B. This will be C and D. All right. So our quiz is looking good, but I'm going to save that as a template altogether now. I'm going to drag that down here. And now I've got a whole new template that has A, B, C, and D. This one just has the colors and that and all that kind of stuff. It's almost like a backup. I just wanted to make it real quick so I don't lose it. And now we've got it. Now, if I go into this and let's turn off the overlays. So I'm going to clear out the overlays and we're going to pop this up. Now what people are going to see is this, okay? Who was a judge, okay? That's beautiful. Let's close that out. But in order for me to get to the next one, if I go to my functions again and go to variables, I can just go down to that one here and I'm going to make a new category tag or set tag for that. And I've got some there, but I need to scroll down in there and it won't let me scroll down. Let's pull this up. Hopefully it'll give me an option to do it. Nope. Okay. I want to change my tags. It won't let me do it. Okay. But ultimately I can make a new tag called game shows if I wanted to, if this wasn't at the bottom here, but it doesn't matter because now we got that there and all I got to do is go to the next and it's literally going to change everything. Okay. And I can go next again and it changes everything again. So this is how you would get your questions in there seamlessly. Okay. Questions and the options, right? The options for the answer. So we got A, B, C, and D all there. And all we got to do is hit one button and it'll change everything for us. That's what the variable set will do. Looking awesome. But we're missing a few things. One, we're missing the background, but secondly, we're missing how to select the correct answer. And so we got to figure that out. And I'm going to use conditions and variables to do this. All right. And we just got to figure out how we're going to do this. Let's see here. If I go to variables, I'm going to do a new variable. We're going to call this one answer A. Let's see here. And I think it can just be, we'll do it just as a text. Boom. And we'll say name. We're going to call this answer. Okay. All right. So now if I go down, let's see here. Where did it go? Okay. So it went up in alphabetical order. A is here. Now in here, I can put in A or I can put in B, or whatever it is. Okay. So I'm going to type in that in there. But before I go forward, I got to put the actual item in that I want this to select. All right. And so what we want to do is I want to put like a green box or something to show that which answer is correct. And so we got to figure that out. And what I think I'll do is let's do like an underline feel to it, to where we'll just kind of put a line up under it, maybe under the letter here. I think that'll work. So we'll go to items, and I'm going to go to text box. And so I've got a text box, which is fine because I want to use text. I'm going to make a dynamic value. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to make it really thin. All right, something like that. And you can do this however you want to. And we'll make it show about right there. All right. So it's kind of overlapped. All right. So now if I select it, I can see it there. Okay. Now I'm going to make it be an item that's filled in, and I want it to be green. All right. And it's just going to highlight like that. It's going to show up green up under there. Now, what we'll do is I'm going to right click on this, and we'll do conditions. And I'm going to say show item if text is, and we'll say in this case it was at C. And oh wait, it's got to be a dynamic value. So we're going to say dynamic value, or we can do variable, either one. So we can do variable. We'll go down to answer is valued at C. All right. And that's a lowercase c. Boom. So right now it's not showing up. Well, let me refresh. Let's make sure it's not showing up. All right. Refresh is not showing up. All right, good. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag this under by duplicating and duplicating again and duplicate one more time. Boom. All right. Now I'm going to move these to be up under each letter. All right. And I'll pull it up like that. And pull this one like that. And this one. Oh, wrong one. And this is mostly because I got this oversized mouse going on, or oversized cursor. And I think that's in line. That's good. All right. So now for this one, I got to adjust the conditions. So I got to right click on it, and we got to go to conditions. And this one is if the value is A. All right. Close that. This one will be if the value is B. And these are all lowercase, looking just like it looks on the screen there. And this one will be value if the condition is, or the answer is D. All right. So we got that done. So now let's see if I can make that option here. Let's see. We're going to edit tags. I was looking for this option that says manage tags. And we're going to do one called game show. Is that one word? I don't know if it's one word or not. All right. We'll do game show, and it automatically adjusts alphabetical order. For the game show, we'll make it be green. All right. Kind of a fun green. All right. Now I can right click on that, add it to the game show tag. And now we need to find that last one, game show questions, add a tag, game show. So now I can go here to game show. So I've got everything I need. And all I need to know is the answer. So you need to have an answer key, right? So I'm gonna go back to our previous. All right. And so our previous answer, I can see the options up there at the top. And so who was a judge? The answer is Samson. So I'm going to put in here, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to put in here C, right? And you don't have to have this off. I'm turning it off right now just so we can see it happen, right? So if I turn it on, you'll see that it shows up there, right? But you can have it off, or you can just have it empty, right? And keep it on. And then you would type in, right? And you can give them some time, so we can put like a timer in there. So let's add in a timer to this thing as well. Let's go back to show, and we're going to go to templates. We're going to make this into a new template. I'm going to get rid of all these other ones, but we're going to make a new timer first. So let's go to timers, and we're going to put in a 20-second timer from start to end, and we'll make that be 0. And then seconds, we'll give them 20 seconds. All right. Name, we're going to call this game show 20 seconds. All right. Overflow when reached, We could do that. If you want to, like, let's say you're doing a group and it's a live group, you can, wait for them to give an answer and it can go red or something like that. I don't necessarily need that. So I'm okay with it being completely, just 20 seconds and that's it. And it just kind of goes off. All right. So that's game show 20 seconds. That's done. And let's see here. Where'd it go? Game show 20 seconds is here. Let's go back to our edit page and we're going to add in an item. And this item is going to be a timer. All right. It's here. I need it to be smaller. And I think I'm going to put it right in the middle there, right below the question. So I'm going to drag that down to there. And that's just where they'll start the timer and see it right in the middle of the screen. And I want it to be centered up with everything. I think that's close. That's close to centered. All right. Now we got to pick the right one. We got to pick the game show one. So we're going to go to game show, 20 seconds. All right. And it shows the auto size. That's fine. That's good. Item, opacity. We could put a box around it if we wanted to. I don't necessarily need one. We could put a shadow on it. We can do that because we still don't have a background yet, right? So I'm going to bring this down just a bit. All right. All right. Now the question is, how do we make it trigger the timer to start up every time we get to our next question? All right. And so let's figure that out. If we go to our templates, I'm going to drag this down into here. Oh, I got to go to show first. Let's drag this down into here. All right. Our template has evolved. All right. These are just kind of like records of the backup, I guess you could say, more than anything. And so we've got an answer. We got a question. We've got answers. We got a moniker to know what answer is correct. All right. Now we got to figure out how we're going to make this timer reset each time. And let's see what it would do. If I do refresh here and I select that, it automatically starts the timer, which is great. The question is, what happens when it gets down to the end? And let's see. All right, so we're at 11, 10, 9, 8. And once they run out of time, I'm going to be looking into my functions in the game show option category. And the answer here is C. So I'm going to be ready to type in C. The answer is C. I hit enter, it pops up as C. All right. But now we got to figure out how we're going to reset the actual show. So if we do a right click here, that doesn't give us many options to change anything. But let's go into our actions. And let's do new action. Let's see if we can do a game show timer reset. Let's see. All right, so custom activations, that would be cool. Let's see what we got here. On startup, on save, video is ending, audio is ending, timer is starting, timer is ending. That could be one. Scripture is started, slide is cleared. Okay, so when the slide is cleared, that could work too. When the background is cleared, when the show is created, when the show is opened, none of those really seem to do what I want. But let's see if we can figure out anything else. I'm going to take off the comment. We're going to see if we can figure out anything else that's related to the variables maybe. Let's see, next project item. Nope, slide. Previous slide, restore. Let's see, clear overlays, clear specific overlay. What we might do is we might make that timer into an overlay potentially. We'll see. Outputs. Oh, here we go. Change variable. Let's see if we change the variable. Let's see. Game show questions. Boom. Mode is set to next, previous, or value. So if we hit next, it should change. That's exactly what I want. All right. So we go here and we also need to clear out this little guy here, right? And so let's see here. he's a condition, right? He's based on a condition. So the way to clear it out is to delete actually the piece. So let's see if we can do something else with that. If we go here, if I do the uncommon um, functions, start trigger, no. Let's say change variable. And the variable we want to change is the answer, and mode, set the state. Action will toggle off if checkbox is unchanged. Okay, set the state or set the value. All right, so action will toggle if checkbox is unchanged. Interesting. And so with the answer, we set the state. Basically, it changes it to off or on. And we need to set it to where it is based on the timer though. Let's see here. When timer is starting, timer is ending. Let's go back. Let's see something here. Change the variable, right? It's going to do that. But we want it to trigger based on that variable. So let's go back. Let's close this out. We don't want that. All right. Let's close that out. So we've got change variable, and I've got that game show one. Let's go back to game show. Where's it at? Actions. Okay, I'm in my actions. Okay, let's look at this and let's edit. All right. So it's going to change variable, and it's going to do it. It doesn't have a custom activation though. What is it? Oh, let's see here. It's going to change with, let's do, change the variable to next. So it's not going to activate with that. That's what we got to figure out. How can we activate this? Because we really only have one slide. We don't even need multiple slides. So if we would put this on multiple slides, it might adjust. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll put some music to it. So we can say when audio is ending, maybe. Timer is starting. And when timer is ending. Okay, let's see here. If we did some 20 seconds of sound, would that fix it? Because I'm trying to make it as simple as we can to where I can go into here and we can hit next and it'll trigger that and clear this, right? So you got to be able to do multiple things, and that's where actions usually come in, is that when you can do multiple things, or you need to do multiple things at the same time, an action will suffice. And so what if we did a duplicate of this, we put it there, and we cleared. All right, so we start the timer on that, but we clear out the show. We clear out the variable, and we're restarting the clock as well, and we're making it go to the next. I like that. So let's go to our actions again. All right. And game show reset. That's going to go here. So if I go here, it's showing up, but it's not starting the clock over, right? And so we got to go back to our timers. Let's start that back over. All right. And so that started up. the expectation is then when we go to the next slide, it should go to the next one, but we also want to trigger it to reset that clock. All right. And so the timer stopped. We'll put an answer in there. Don't worry about that. If I go here, it automatically goes to the next answer, which is perfect. So I want to make it to where it will do the next answer, clear out, reset the clock, and reset those little variables, right? The answer key. So for the game show action, let's go back. And I'd love to hear how you all would do this. I'm just walking it through real time. So we're going to go to edit and we're going to do change variable and let's see, timers, pause, stop active timer, and then start. Actually, let's go here. Let's go to this. Let's see if it gives us any specific things for timers. Functions, media, clear slideshow. It won't let me do anything else with timers. Clear drawing. Okay. So it can stop the active timers. That's fine. So if I drag this onto here, what will it do? Okay. And then I go here. I don't have any more questions. So it won't really work. I got 3 questions. Let's go back to all the questions. This is our variables game show. We're here. All right. So we're 1. So if I start this here, it goes there. If I clear this out, let me make sure to update to that new one where it stops the timer. And let's go to actions, game show, reset. Okay. So we got that. And then we go here. It does that. But we needed to start the timer too. Right? We do that. It doesn't start. That's what's interesting. Okay. And it's got the timer in there, which makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to our timers real quick. I'm going to stop that. And if we select it, boom, which book of the Bible has Moses? I'm going to go back to my variables. Let's see. That's question number 3 already. Let's go here. All right. It goes all the way down to 0. Boom. Go here. It starts back up at 20. But, and it's going to, okay, let's go here. Who was a judge? And it counts down. Let's go to timers. I'm going to just pull it up. All right. That's done. And then when I arrow to the right, it switches and it starts. And the clock is there, but I needed to start the clock. All right. And so this is start timers on the active slide, but it's not starting the timer for some reason. Oh, because I got it set to stop the timer. So let's go back into that action real quick. Let's make sure, because I needed to reset that timer. That's the issue. And I set it to start it off or turn it off. So let's go to edit. And if we say here, what if I change that to make it wait? Let's put a wait on it. And we'll wait 4 seconds, add, And then we're going to start the timer. We're going to pick the timer. Let's see if it'll start that. So game show 20 seconds. All right. That is done. And I'm going to take that out and let's make sure to put it back. I don't know if it'll update itself, but I'm going to go here and I'm going to go back to my game show, go back to question number 1. All right. So we got question number 1 is going, who was a judge, da, 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 da. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the answer. When it's done, they have 20 seconds. They're thinking, they're thinking, they're thinking. And boom, time's up. The answer is C. All right. Turn it off and I go to the next one. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it should start the timer. And it didn't. And that's because the timer didn't reset. So how do we reset the timer? Okay, let's do an action. Let's go back. And the thing is, it doesn't let me stack those actions related to the timer. So what we'll do is let's do activation. Activate on slide click. Activate on slide click. That could be good. When it shows created, when slide is cleared, timer is starting. When a timer is ending, when audio is starting, when video is ending. All right. So we got this option for slide click to activate it, because if I got this here to change and then wait a few seconds and start the timer, there's got to be somewhere in here that we stop the timer. And oh, let's see. Let me see what I just did. So if I select choose, oh, I can stop it. Okay. So I can say stop active timers. And what I would like to do is move this up, but I can't. Okay. So let's close this one and then we'll start the timer, which would be this one, 20 seconds. And we're going to wait, but I'm going to change that wait. Let's go back. Let's change the wait to be like 2 seconds. All right. So that's done. I'm going to clear that out and reset it. Game show reset. Boom. All right. Let's go back to our game show variables. We're going to go to question number 1. Who was a judge? And let's do that same action. Do we need it there? We don't necessarily need it there. Let's go to timers. Let's restart. And that starts that one. And it goes through. I'm going to skip on up. 1 second's up. When our game show, we're going to select the correct answer is C. Boom. Turn it off and go to the next one. All right. And then it starts the timer. Well, it reset it, which is good, but it didn't start it. All right. So let's do another wait on that action. Game show. Let's edit it. Stop and then start. It's like it didn't read it. Okay. So we'll say add another wait. We'll just say 0.5 and then add start timer. And we'll start the 22nd. Game show 20 seconds. All right. Let's close that. And let's close that. And let's do this one. All right. And maybe I'll add it to this one too. We go here. All right. So who's a judge? did something funky. But let's see what it does on the second go around. All right. And I think that it just kind of stuttered or something like that, which is kind of funny. But that's fine for now. All right. It's getting down to the end. We're going to reveal our answer that we've got here. Boom. The answer is C. Break and go away. We go to the next slide. Which book of the Bible is about Moses? And it starts up. Oh, yeah. Problem solved. All right. So we got our problem solved there. Now all I got to do is duplicate this one. And we have it in there multiple times. All right. And so now in order for us to go to the next slide, all we do is click on it. So the answer to this one is which book of the Bible is about Moses? It's B. So I would type in B and they ready. I'll give the answer and then I'll make it go away. Go to the next one. Oh, that's the last one. So let's go here. Let's do that. And I should be able to go through each one. So it says who ran faster. It goes to question number 2 and it starts the timer. Go here and it starts over. All right. Which book of the Bible is about Moses? And it shows up. And this is how you would create your game show. But it needs a background. So all we got to do now is add in our media. And I'm going to go to my motion backgrounds. Some video stuff. Let's see here. Video backdrops. And you can do something fun and funky. These are kind of fun. They got a little spinning globe. That would be kind of crazy. Let's see what it would look like. I think I like that. All right. And so let's go back to our functions. Game show. Go to our previous answer. And now we're about to play the game show. So let me go into a different mode. So I'm going to do primary so you guys can see the screen here. And let me update that on OBS. Boom. All right. So now you can see exactly what the audience is going to see. And the question is, who was a judge? All right. And the time starts in, yep, I need to add that piece in there. Let's do a reset. Hold on. Let me reset my timer. Boom and boom. Oh, wait a second. Let's pause it because I've got that action on there. I don't want that action on there at all. So let's go back. Hold on. I'm going to reset. Act like you didn't see any of that. All right. So who was a judge? And we start the clock. You guys can see it going. And I'm working in the background here. Was it A, Peter? Was it B, James? Was it C, Samson? Or was it D, Cain? Who was a judge? And this is in the Bible. So you can put in the Bible in your question if you wanted to, right? And the answer, who was a judge? Any guesses? Any guesses? And then you would pop it up. The answer is C. All right. Now let's go on to our next question. All right. Who ran faster than a chariot? Was it A, Caleb, B, Jacob, C, Elijah, or D, John? Who ran faster than a chariot? This is getting fun. All right. So you guys already know the answer because I showed you earlier, but let's see. No pun intended. And the answer is C. Elijah ran faster than the chariot. And you could even pop up like a reference verse or something like that if you wanted to. And that could be, ooh, the reference verse thing, you could use it or just share it like as a in between, like a scripture in between. But we're not going to do that right now. I'm not going to show that right away. All right. So we got that. That one's cleared out. We're going to our next slide. All right. Which book of the Bible is about Moses? And they got 20 seconds to think about it. Is it A, Galatians, B, Exodus, C, Job, or D, Ruth? Which book of the Bible is about Moses? All right. And they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. In the meantime, I'm over here putting in my answer and I'm ready to show it when the time is up. People are giving their guesses, da, 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 da. And the answer is B, Exodus. And this is a game show in FreeShow. completely created and designed in the program with this new variable set feature with an action involved and with some variables in the questions and a really, really smooth layout to where when it's all said and done, it can be run by one person, and that one person literally is staying inside of here and they're looking at the answers, right? So they got question number 3. You would just have an answer sheet, right? A cheat sheet that you would see it, or a file, or whatever it is. You can be digital. And you can put it up. Now, it'd be really cool to do like a poll or something like that to let people put in their answers, and then you fill it in. And all I was doing throughout the whole time, I was just turning this on and off, and then I would change it out, right? So I would put in D or something like that, and then I would turn it back on, and it would show up, and you'll notice that it shows up here with our underline box. You could make like an outline box around this if you wanted to kind of highlight everything. You can be pretty creative. My question to you is, what would you do different in your setup if you were to design a game show in FreeShow? What would you do different? You got to see my thought process real time. Now, knowing what you know, how would you do or improve this process to be even better? All right, I'm Gary B. Jr. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe, and I think that's great, but my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can really help me do that, and that is to leave a comment below with a question, a thought, how this video may have helped you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video with someone just like you, someone who is looking for answers, someone who's curious and wants to grow. With your help, I believe we can build a community of people that want to grow together. So until next time, God bless.